Hello and welcome to the Amy
and Kyle
Adventures Podcast, also known as the AKA Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things marriage, mental health and cycling, but today is a little bit different. We're doing a Tour de France special because in just over 2 weeks I'll be setting off on one of the biggest challenges I've ever done, basically cycling every stage of the men's Tour de France, plus the transfers in between, to raise money for Shout Mental Health Charity. So we put a little thing out on Instagram asking people what they wanted to know, what questions they had, and today we're going to answer them, aren't we, Kyle?
We are indeed.
Kyle's got the job of asking me the questions, so...
Yeah. So when do you want me to start?
You can start now if you want. By the way, what's up with your eyes?
Eyes?
Your eyes look all red and itchy.
I'm just really tired.
Blooming heck, you look like you've been dragged for a bush backwards.
No, I'm feeling very fatigued. Probably
Sorry.
tell.
Yeah.
Are
Are you okay to be here? Do you need a coffee?
I'm currently on death's door.
You're not really, are you?
No, I'm alright.
He's alright. He can survive it.
Just really tired.
He can survive the next half an hour.
Yeah. So, the first question. Was wondering how many transfers there will be, and I've heard you will do those on bike too. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, yeah, so there's 21 stages, so there's a transfer in between every stage because each stage doesn't start and finish at the same place. So I think there's about 3,500 kilometres worth of transfers. So it's adding quite a lot onto the route. My total route is like 6,400 kilometres, which is about 4,080 miles. And the biggest transfer is from stage 20 to stage 21 is like a 450 kilometre transfer, which I'm not going to ride in one go. I'm going to split that up. So my average days are like 220k a day.
230k.
230, sorry, Kyle. Thanks for just making me feel even better about it. But through the mount, on 230k doesn't sound like a massive different distance, but over, day after day and through the Alps, it will be enough.
It does sound like a big distance.
Yeah, it's enough. Hello, Chester.
Oh,
Sorry,
Chester's
our
come to say hello.
dog's just come in to say hello, so he's going to be causing havoc now. Hello, have you just eaten your dinner? Next question.
The next question is, would love to know what a high point and hard point has been from training so far, and also which stage you're most looking forward to and which one you're most dreading. Sending so much love, support and all the carby croissant goodness.
Oh, thank you. Kyle, you'll be eating lots of croissants,
Yeah, I'll be
won't
having
you?
plenty of them.
The highs in training have probably been just like the long rides that we've done. I've really enjoyed that we went to Mallorca and I went to Spain. Like that was really nice, really good opportunities. Cycling abroad is always really nice and getting the miles in there. The lows have probably been when I doubt myself, which I do quite a lot. Some of the training sessions have been quite hard on the turbo, like doing intervals. And some of the long rides where I've been on my own quite a lot in the headwind and like the rain this weekend when I cycled up to Scotland. And then like if I'm finding a hill hard here, then I start thinking, if I'm finding this hard, how am I going to do France? So I think the lows are just, when I'm doubting myself. And I'm most looking forward to I'm really looking forward to Mont Ventoux because it's on Kyle's 30th birthday.
I'm excited for that.
And I'm probably least looking forward to the double days of really big mountains. Like I've got the Queen stage, which is like over 20,000 feet of climbing in one day, followed by the next day, which is 19,000 feet of climbing. So 2 big days in a row. And then I don't get a rest after because I have to keep riding. So,
But I do keep reminding you, mountain days are probably better days. I know there's a lot of elevation, but I feel like it's constant climbing, constant descent, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Rather than spiky.
Yeah, well, I've looked at the route card, it looks spiky to me.
It's going to be
With a
spiky, you know
capital
what
S.
I'm saying? You get into more of a groove on a mountain.
Yeah. I think the hills make it more interesting, but it'd be nice if it was, a little bit flatter, but oh well, can't have it all.
The next question is, we've seen a lot about your physical preparation. I'm always impressed with your mental strength. You don't give up and ride through pain, rain and self-doubt. If it's not too sensitive a subject, do you also train your mind to keep positive and keep riding?
I wouldn't necessarily say I train my mind, but I do little things. Maybe I do, like, without calling it that. But I think, like, I kind of remind myself that, like, your mindset is everything. So when I'm riding in the rain or riding in a headwind or finding something hard, I always say to myself, I can change the way I think about this. I can either ride along thinking, oh, God's sake, it's a headwind. I can't do it. It's really hard. Or I can ride along thinking, yeah, there's a headwind, nothing I can do about it, so just look up and keep going. and try and be positive. And I always use I can and I will, a little positive saying. And I suppose in a way, like some of my turbo sessions have been training my mind to be more resilient, because my coach said that he purposely put like boring sessions in that aren't
like
interesting.
mundane sessions.
So like, you know, when you go on Ruby, like if you've got a workout and you see there's like different colours on there, and like, you know, you're doing 30 seconds at a higher watts and then lower, and then it's lots of different things. He's made me do ones where it's literally just the same watts for like an hour and a half, and it's just so boring, but it like means that I'll keep going even though I'm bored. So that's kind of helped. And like sometimes I'll go on the turbo with no music on, just to make it even more like mentally dull, just so that it gives me that sort of like, what's the word, like resilient, like determination just to keep going and not give up. But I think for me, like because of like struggling with my mental health in the past and still sometimes struggling, nothing's ever as hard, like no ride is ever as hard as what I've been through in my mind. So that kind of keeps me determined. And I always have that thing in my head of like, I'm doing this to show people that maybe want to give up on life, not to give up. So that like makes me more determined not to give up.
Also, just to add to that,
Yeah.
I think we've done a lot of, well, I say a fair amount of long riding.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, drop the
Dropping your
microphone.
microphone.
It's not
Mic
like we're
drop.
not used to it. Yeah, mic drop. And I feel like no matter who you are or what you do, there's always going to be highs and lows in one ride.
Yeah.
Like you're always going to go through a low. I think once you've done a few long rides, you're prepared for that anyway.
Yeah, it's never like, you're never riding the whole ride thinking I'm loving this.
That's not realistic.
No, because every ride you do, there's always, your mind goes through like waves, I find, of like one bit you can be like really enjoying it, really motivated, really good. And then like the next 10 miles can be like, you're just hating it and it's just hard and it feels hard. But the highs definitely outweigh the lows. And I think you just have to expect that you're not going to enjoy every part of it. But overall, it's normally, well, I've never regretted a bike ride. So you can't beat that. I always think you can't beat that feeling at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Of like doing a long ride. So.
Right, moving on. Mm-hmm. More of a kit-related one, but what do you use to put your phone on whilst riding, and how do you get more confident cycling and filming at the same time, especially with the views? Excited for the video and see content from the ride.
My phone just goes in my back pocket of my jersey, to be honest. And I use a GoPro to film, and my confidence has just grown with that over time, really. But I'd say always just like make sure you're safe. I never film one-handed on a descent or anything like that, and I have my camera attached to my bike, so yeah, it's just about being safe. And I think in terms of filming, I don't really plan like what I'm going to film or what I'm going to say. I just do whatever pops into my head, really, and yeah.
I think everyone can see
Sometimes like you don't get to film everything. Like on some rides, like there's so many beautiful views, and sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to get the camera out right now. I just want to enjoy it for myself, because otherwise I just spend the whole ride thinking, oh, I need to film that, oh, I should film that, and it just takes the fun away.
Without taking it in yourself.
Yeah, so sometimes I have to take it in myself as well.
Okay, how many support people will you have? Will you be eating a lot on the bike since you have some really long days? What sleeping accommodations are being made?
Well, the support people is
Moi.
the fella next to me.
Moi is me for French.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just me, basically.
Just Kyle.
Until the last week.
Yeah, so we've got Kyle, basically, that's it. And then for the last 5 days, my friend Laura is also joining, because she's going to be in France, because she's doing a tap, which is like where you get to ride a stage, so she's going to join us. And in terms of eating, yes, I will be eating a lot on the bike. I've been practicing that, so I normally eat something every hour to every hour and a half while I'm riding, and Kyle will meet me halfway through each day to give me like a big sort of meal, like rice-based or pasta-based or noodles, something like that. So I'll have my little snacks as I go, and then something more substantial in the middle of the ride. But yeah, support is just Kyle. So Kyle's got to do feeding me, bike cleaning, editing the YouTube videos, all that sort of stuff. So you're going to have a big job as well, aren't you, Kyle?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Quite relaxed. Because I've done long rides with you, I think, no, it's not like distances we haven't done before. So I'm sort of, in my own head, I'm thinking how I'd treat it if it was the other way around and I was riding. So I sort of know at what points you're probably going to want to eat, which is going to be like halfway through the day.
Yeah.
Then after that sort of point, you know that after you've had your lunch, usually when we do a long ride, you're just going to go to the end then with a few snacks en route.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the points that I can probably go to the end and then ride out and meet you.
Yeah.
Then obviously squeezing in time to edit YouTubes and bits
I'm
and
glad
bobs.
you're chilled, because to me, I'm feeling.
I've got it all mapped. Every day is sort of mapped out in my head how I'm going to work it.
Yeah. Oh, and we do have a live tracker link so you can see where I am and things. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit. Even though I've done lots of 200k rides, I've not done this many in a row with this many mountains. I've only ever ridden in the Alps once. So I'm actually getting a bit like, oh, literally 2 weeks to go. And
Twice, actually.
Twice, have I?
Italian Alps.
Yeah.
You've ridden in the Italian Alps.
Yeah.
French Alps.
Yeah, but that was on the same trip.
No.
When?
Stelvio Sportive.
Oh, yeah.
You forget about
So I've ridden in the
Mortorola.
Alps twice. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you forget about that.
But still, yeah.
Three times.
I've done as much prep as I can, but I'm still feeling a little bit. But I think it's normal. It'd be good. It's good to be nervous, I think. If I wasn't nervous, I think it'd be worrying if I wasn't nervous.
Yeah, if you wasn't, almost like you're not mentally prepared.
Because I think it's because it's important to me.
Yeah.
I really want to do it. So.
There's another question here that's very similar to the other one about your personal strategies around staying motivated and staying resilient, which I think you've already answered.
Yeah, I think for me, just like the motivation comes, I want to raise as much money as possible for the charity. And I think I'm just going to have like little sayings in my head to keep me going. And I've also, another thing that motivates me is like thinking of the end, like envisioning Paris, envisioning what I'll feel like to do it, and also envisioning what I'll feel like if I don't do it. Because obviously there is going to be moments in this ride where I'm probably going to be in pain. Like I'm worried about saddle sore a little bit. I could get injured. I don't know what's going to happen. But then I'm thinking like, I've just got to get through that pain, because if like 28 days of my life in the grand scheme of my life is not a massive amount of time. So if I can just get through whatever pain comes my way, it'll be worth it for that feeling of completing it and proving everyone wrong that says I can't do it, because there's been people that say I can't do it, which makes me more determined. Because I know that if I don't do it, that feeling will be a lot worse than whatever pain I'm in on the bike. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, I'm using that sort of strategy. I might have to be a bit mean to myself at times. I have said to Kyle, do not let me get in the car. Drive away.
Yeah, but you say that to me, but that's not really a realistic thing that you need to say, because I don't think that's ever going to cross your mind or happen.
I don't know.
It might cross your mind, but I don't think you'll ever actually.
If I'm really struggling or something, I might start saying, I don't think I'd give up, but I just don't know.
There has been occasions on some long rides where I've had to motivate you a little bit, which is natural.
And I have to do that for you as well sometimes.
Yeah, of course you do. I think everyone needs that sometimes, but that's what I'm there for as well. Will you have a spare bike just in case of major mechanical problems? How are you finding the accommodation, and do you have any contingency plans for road closures or other problems that may pop up? All the best for the ride.
3 questions in one there, blooming heck. So, for the first part, what was the first part again?
Will you have a spare bike?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I will have a spare bike. So I'm taking Pantera, which is my pink bike, who I love, my road bike. She's actually right by me now. So she'll be the main bike that I ride on. And then I'm taking my gravel bike as well, which will just give me like a different position, because if I do, obviously my Dogma is quite like more of an aggressive position than my gravel bike, which is more relaxed. So it just means that I might just like, even if I'm not uncomfortable, I might still like just ride one day my road bike, one day my gravel bike, just so that I'm getting that different position. And it just means there's less chance of any injuries coming up, and it just gives me more of a different position. But also, if there are any mechanicals, I can just swap bike. Accommodation, sorry, I didn't answer that on the last question. I've booked accommodation for each night. We've booked, instead of hotels, we've just booked like the cheapest that we can find, like Airbnb style places, so that I can cook my own food, because the last thing I want is to be having to eat, eating out every night will be really expensive, and B, like it's just not going to be the sort of food I want to eat. I want to make sure that I'm eating like high carb, high protein after the ride. I'll be getting a recovery shake in as soon as I finish, and then like probably most nights be having like rice, pasta, chicken, rice and chicken, or like pasta and chicken with a bit of veg. So just like basic meals, but getting in what I need. And what was the last part of the question?
Do you have any contingency plans
for road
closures, etc.?
Well, so they sent me the route literally last week, and I spent 2 full days planning all the transfers in between and booking all the accommodation. So that was quite stressful, but it's all sorted. Luckily, the route the pros are doing, I can literally follow the same route as them, because they don't go on any motorways or anything like that. But we do know that France loves a route divergée, as they call it. Remember, route divergée. When we were in France, we kept seeing those signs saying route divergée. Kept saying that was like diverted route and like road closed. So to be honest, obviously we can't pre-plan if a road's going to be closed or if there's roadworks because we don't know until we get there. But what I always do if that happens, I just look on my Garmin and route round. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I think the thing is, you have to think on your feet when you're doing long rides. These things do happen. You just have to deal with it.
Just have 2 extra miles if that happens.
We've had to do it before. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, probably won't be ideal, but yeah, cross that bridge when we come to it. And also the fact that Kyle's there, he can help out with things like that as well with planning. So, can't you?
Yeah. Have you had any nutrition advice or plan? This will be a huge test, and as you know, nutrition is provably the most important element.
Yeah, so my coach has been giving me nutrition advice, which has been really helpful. It has been quite hard, like, adapting. Obviously, I've done long rides kind of since I started cycling for the past 4 years. But, like, because I had an eating disorder when I started cycling, I used to underfuel. Like, I didn't used to eat enough. But I'm, like, much better from that now. But it has been a challenge, like, making sure that I'm getting enough in. But I am at a point now where I feel like I am fueling my rides enough. What I tend to do is have, like, a really big breakfast in the morning of porridge, peanut butter, normally like homemade bread with peanut butter as well, banana, like just as much as I can get in really, maybe some eggs, sometimes some yoghurt, just a really big breakfast to start off like fully loaded. And then I'll ride normally for like the first 2 hours, I won't eat anything because I'll be like full from that breakfast. And then after that I'll eat literally every hour or every hour and a half. And I'll just like remind myself, like I'll set up a reminder on my Garmin, or I'll look at my mileage and say, right, by this mileage I need to eat this snack. And my coach has kind of given me like targets with how many grams per hour of carbs to have. So it's been like a massive learning curve, and it has, like, your body sometimes doesn't react to it quite well, but I've found the snacks that work for me now. And so far I've not actually, touched wood, struggled with any stomach upset or anything. So I think I'm pretty much there with it. But I can always tell if I've not eaten enough, and I think you kind of, like, sometimes I'll be riding along and I'm like, right, I need to stop and eat something. And then my mind is silly and I'm like, no, I don't want to stop, I'm wasting time. But I've got to be really strict with myself on Tour de France and be like, no, Amy, stop now before you get too hungry. Because it's not wasting time, it's a few minutes to stop and get a snack out that you can't reach out your back pocket or something. Otherwise you're going to bonk, and not in a good way. Bonk means run out of energy. So yeah, I've had advice, and I know that nutrition is one of the things that if I get it wrong, that could be something that ends the challenge. So yeah, because it's not just fueling for today, it's fueling for the next day. So yeah, it's going to be important. But Kyle, you're going to help out with that, aren't you?
I am.
How are you going to fuel your driving?
Well, I can't eat too much, otherwise I'll come back like Mr. Blobby, but mine's going to be very basic.
Yeah.
So
are you going to eat the same meals as me each night?
Probably not, because I don't need to get bored of your meals every night.
Well, what are you going to have then?
I can make it up as I go, can't I?
Oh, I thought we'd both have the stir fry and rice.
I probably will most nights, but if I'm not doing all the riding that you're doing, I don't want to be stuck on the same mundane food for no reason.
That's another thing, like how my mouth is going to be. Because, like, when we did the ride home from Italy, my mouth got quite horrible.
Yeah,
then.
you suffered with that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping my mouth's going to be okay. Not getting any ulcers.
Moving on.
Yeah. Go on, Kyle.
Keep yawning.
Keeping the time zone up.
I know you're expecting to start and finish before the pros, but are you expecting any crossover where you might be on a similar stage to them at any point, potentially towards the end?
No. So basically, I start a week before the pros and I finish a day before them. And the pros will basically pass, well, no, they won't actually go past me at all and I won't really be near them. Because the last transfer is so long, it's 450 kilometres, I'll be doing, like, the last stage, I think, like 3 days before they do the stage. And then I'll obviously do that transfer, and then I'll be doing their last stage the day before they do it. So they'll probably, like, they'll be like behind me driving as I'm doing the last transfer. And then hopefully I'll see them when they finish. So yeah, I won't actually be really close to the pros at any point, apart from right at the end.
Is Kyle carrying all the food you require while cycling, or you top up in local shops, etc.? I know all struggle sometimes with too much sugary stuff, and it's great to get some normal savoury foods in. Is this all factored in?
So we're going to take as much stuff as we can, but obviously we can't have like veg and meat and stuff because that's just going to go horrible in the car. But we are going to take like all the rice, all the noodles, all the bars, all the electrolytes, everything like that will be in the car. So the only thing Kyle's going to have to buy while we're out there is literally chicken, veg, and probably like top-ups of snacks. There might be things I crave and I think, oh, Kyle, please can you get me some orange juice, something like that. Sometimes you're on a ride and you crave something, but most of it we'll have with us. I'm going to try and have a mix of sweet and savoury. I do like to have potatoes while I'm riding with salt on, and I am probably going to have like maybe some salty crisps, things like that to mix it up. Sandwiches. I'll have like rice and pasta in the middle of the day alongside the sweetie goodness as well of bananas.
Maybe some hamburgettes.
I'll have bananas, dates, raisins, bars, peanut butter pittas. We are going to take some tubs of peanut butter, aren't we, Kyle? Mm-hmm. Porridge, we need to take porridge with us, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a good variety. And I do really like to eat healthily. So I'll be making sure that I'm still eating. I know that people say, oh, don't eat loads of veg because of fibre and it can make you have diarrhoea, basically. But I've always eaten loads of fruit and veg. Like, I've always eaten loads of veg the night before a ride and I've never had an issue with it. I know everyone's different, so for me, it's never been an issue for me, so I'm still going to be getting my veg in.
The last question is, a clean bike is a fast bike. Pros get their bikes cleaned after every stage. Given the distance and hours you will spend riding, what is the plan for keeping the drivetrain clean and along with the frame?
Kyle, you can answer that one.
Yeah, so that's going to be my job. So, yeah, when I get spare time, it won't be an everyday thing because I think that'd just be unrealistic. Also, I don't think it'll need doing every day. But try and do it really regularly.
Every other day, definitely.
Yeah.
Keep it as
well,
clean as
obviously
we can.
on really dry days where it's not really getting mucky and stuff, it seems rather pointless. But
We'll probably just give the chain a wipe and stuff every night.
yeah,
Just to keep...
I'll add to the long list of jobs I already have to do.
Keep the grit off. Yeah, I think like the schedule for Kyle is literally going to be... To be honest, I can do my own breakfast. I'm not... no, I don't need you to make my breakfast for me. I'm quite capable of making my porridge. But it's literally just going to be drive to meet me halfway, give me my lunch, drive to the end, maybe ride out and see me or edit videos
Yeah, and
when
go
you're
into
waiting.
shops and stuff and fuel.
Go to shops to pick up food.
Fuel.
And fuel. Dinner in the evening and took me into bed.
Sorting myself out as well.
Took me into bed and kissed me goodnight.
Let me kissing you.
Make sure I
You'll be
don't give up.
Sweaty ball of mess.
I will be sweaty. And make sure I don't give up. And yeah, I've got questions for you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Go on then.
What's your biggest worry about it?
I'm not really worried about it. Genuinely.
Nothing.
Not particularly. I feel like, I don't know, I think from experience.
I wish I had your brain.
Yeah, but you know what I'm like on really long rides? Like, I don't think there's anything that you can't overcome. Like, I don't think there's anything that you really need to panic for.
So you've not got any worries about anything that can go wrong?
No, not particularly.
Have you thought about anything that could go wrong?
Yeah, like
strategies?
Yeah, there's all sorts of things that go wrong. Your chain could snap. That's an easy enough fix. Bike swap over, get you on your way again, fix that. There could be diversions, once again, an easy enough fix. Car issues could be a problem, but highly unlikely. But
hopefully not.
Got accident, like recovery.
Have we?
Well, we're getting recovery.
Yeah, we need to get breakdown cover.
Not really. Like, if you could tell me something that should worry me.
I'm worried for you about the early mornings, I'm not going to lie.
No, because I don't necessarily have to be jolly in the morning. I just need to go about my business.
I wish you would. I think you would have to be jolly, Kyle, actually, to be honest.
No, but you know what I'm like in the morning? I don't talk, but I'm efficient in what I do.
In the morning, it's like living with someone that's just been told that their mum's been murdered or something.
Only when she decides to start talking at 100 miles an hour to me.
But that's probably what I will be doing in France.
Yeah, but I'd say I'm not so much grumpy in the morning. I'm just efficient. And I don't like to be spoken to.
But I just think in France, you're going to have to get over that for me. Just to...
I always try to
Because in the morning is when I might need motivating if I'm struggling. So you might have to turn that frown upside down.
No, what I'll do is just get out the door. You know I will, mate, yeah. And I don't think...
Well, the other day, we woke up and you were really mardy and I went, Kyle, you're going to have to try and be happier in the mornings when we're in France. And you were like, no, I'm not. I was thinking, oh, great. I'll be setting off, like, trying to motivate myself and you'll be there sat
It's
grumpy.
very difficult to change your personality, though. It's not...
Yeah.
If that's the way I am, I can't...
I think you can
Obviously, I'll always try to be.
I think you can always, like, put a fake smile on if you need to. As soon as I've gone out the door, you can be grumpy again. But you can, fake happiness for half an hour in the morning.
Yeah, but but in previous scenarios where I've been tired or grumpy in the morning, that I've still sometimes managed to try and stay positive and try.
Yeah. I've just never met anyone that's as grumpy as you in the morning.
It's not so much grumpy. I just don't like being spoken to
You
too
literally
much.
don't speak.
But
It's
people don't
hilarious.
understand that you speak about loads of different things in
No,
the morning.
even-
My
I've even been-
brain can't compute.
No, even when I don't speak for 15 minutes, like you said.
I mean, it's more than 15 minutes. I need space into it.
Well, I get up and I don't speak to you.
I know.
I take the dog out without speaking to you, and it's just, you're still Mardy.
No, I'm not.
What?
It doesn't take me very long when we go on long bike rides in the morning to wake up.
Yeah.
Usually
But
once I've had a coffee and
I
stuff.
think you should maybe practice for the next 2 weeks of pretending to be happy
You
in
just
the
want me
morning.
to do that so you see me happy in the morning.
No, I want you to do it so that in Tour de France, I'm not sat eating breakfast in silence.
I will motivate you.
Yeah.
No, you don't give me enough credit. I do motivate you sometimes.
No, you
and
do.
When we was
do.
in Italy and stuff, I was always able to.
No, you are really good. Like, I'm very grateful for everything you do. But I just wish you could smile more in the morning. That's all.
Smiling is not my forte in the
I
morning.
know. But, maybe by the end of France, you might be a morning person.
Highly unlikely.
Seems
But
we're
we
going
never know.
to be getting up at like 5 a.m. every day.
Stranger things have happened.
It's going to be weird because I think we're going to our bodies are going to adapt to getting up at 5 a.m. and going to bed earlier. So when we get home,
You might say that, but I might be snoozing in the day.
yeah, you'll have
And then
a
I'll be
nap.
up later cleaning bikes.
When we get home, it's going to be weird to adjust back to normal life. I think some days I might even get up at 4:30. So I want to get up and off as early as I can to miss the heat of the day.
Well, what's your longest day? Like 300k?
Yeah, near the start.
So it's not. I know this sounds a ridiculous statement, but it's not massive days like.
Yeah, most days are 200k. One day is only 60 miles, 120k.
That'd be a lighting day.
Is that 100?
Unless you get up and just get it done and then.
No, one day 60 miles. Is that
60 miles?
100k, literally less than 100k. That's the shortest day because I've done that as kind of to have an afternoon off because it's the day before my first mountain stage.
Which is a good idea.
Yeah. There is going to be a live tracking link. So if anyone wants to see where I am, I'll put the link to it in the description of this video. And obviously if anyone's out in France, feel free to come and give me a wave. Throw a snack at Kyle. Make sure he's smiling.
If people do want to come and ride and meet, we're not going to do it every day because I think it'll just be too much. But I think the best thing to do is message me on my Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, message Kyle at the Snacking Cyclist.
Yeah. And I think
And
that's the
find
best
out.
option because then we can sort of play it by ear and see what's best.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'd be nice to
Yeah, it'll be good motivation for me to
have a
see
bit
people.
of company. But I feel like you'd have to talk at her rather than to her.
Yeah, talk at me and don't always expect a response if I'm really tired because
And it's not because she's grumpy, it's just tiredness.
I might be grumpy after that amount of time.
Yeah, but only grumpy with a challenge, nothing else.
Yeah, I won't be grumpy at anyone joining me. I'll be grateful for anyone that rides bits with me, but yeah, I might not be, depending on how far in we are and how much I've struggled, I might not be that talkative.
Yeah.
But I will appreciate you being there. I've got one more question for you, Kyle.
Go on then.
If I say to you on the trip, I can't do this, I'm getting in the car, I can't do it. I'm literally sat on the road, refusing to move. I've not kicked my bike, but I'm I don't want to see this bike ever again. And I'm really angry and I can't do it. And I've got really bad saddle sore. And I'm saying I'm not doing it and I'm crying. What are you going to say to me?
I'll just say, come on, you've been through worse than this. You're stronger than giving up on something as simple as riding a bike. Yeah, you're going to be in pain, but you've been in pain before. It's nothing out of the ordinary.
Will you put my chamois cream on my bum for me?
I'll try and avoid that, but if I really have to, I would. I've thought about these things. Everyone's had hardship at some point in their life. There's nothing you can't get through physically if you really want to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much pain you're in. If you really want to, you can get up on that bike and get it done.
Yeah.
And you just got to remember that winning feeling at the end and all the positive things that are coming from what you're doing.
Yeah, I want to try and raise 10,000.
And not only that, the positive things that you're doing for other people.
Yeah, hopefully.
And there will be a lot of moments of it you're going to enjoy, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, I hope it don't come to that.
Yeah, and one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it popped out of my head. Oh, are you looking forward to washing my bib shorts?
Absolutely not. I don't wash your bib shorts when we're at home, let alone...
Well, the problem is, when we're at home, it's shoving them in the washing machine. You're going to be hand washing them.
They're going to have to be hand washed, and they probably, if anyone sees me out in France, you'll probably see bib shorts hanging out of the windows, drying in the wind.
Yeah.
Because that'll be the quickest and easiest way to dry them, I think.
I have ordered some washing detergent, hand washing detergent.
Yeah.
Also, some of the places we stay in have got a washing machine.
So they'll be the
good.
places I look forward to saying, because I'll be like, have you got some facilities to wash?
Yeah, most places are like in where we're actually in, like in an apartment with a washing machine, so that'd be good.
That'd be perfect. I say me hand washing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Although
really.
Someone did say hand washing is recommended, so you don't damage any of the padding, seams,
probably best to.
etc.
Yeah.
Although we have machine washed.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, thank you everyone for all the questions. I'll put a link to the donation page and a link to the live tracker. I just want to say before we go as well, a massive thank you to the sponsors for this ride, because I always feel like it always feels really unreal that I get these big brands involved. Like, I never expected my channel or anything to grow, and without these sponsors we wouldn't be able to afford to do this trip. So big thank you to CAMS with the Cycle Accident Management Service. They help cyclists like me get hit by a car to get back on the road. When I was hit by a car, they helped me out. Panaracer, they're the tyres I'm using. I'm using the Joros. I'm using 30s. They're really good. I've ridden so many miles. Like once I did 5,000 miles with no puncture on those tyres. So I really trust them, and I can change them myself. So I'm happy with that. Ruvi, love everyone at Ruvi. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of my training on the indoor turbo. Next week, I'm going to be practicing one of the climbs on Ruvi so I can see what I'm setting myself in for. Santini, they're doing my kit for me, which I'm really excited about because I love my custom jersey. It's so nice. Oxford Cycles are supplying us with our bike cleaning stuff called Mint, which Kyle's going to be
I'm
using.
a big fan of.
It does smell minty as well. It is good. And then they're also giving us our tools as well. So that's Talky Tools. So that'll be good. And then obviously Pinarello's our bike. They're a sponsor that support me all year, so I'm really grateful for them. Skoda are giving us a car for the trip, so we're going to be driving in a Kodiak. Bikes on the top, food in the back.
I've not driven a car for a long time.
No, and then we've got two more. Met, my helmet. I've always ridden with Met since I started cycling. The first helmet I ever bought myself was a Met helmet. Then I got hit by a car, and the police people there were like, if you didn't have a helmet on, you wouldn't be here. So since then, I'm like, right, I'm only ever riding in Met helmets, because they are just like, I've just got to think about it now that it saved me. So. And
they're beautiful, and the goat wears them.
Kyle loves them. Pogacar wears it. And finally, one of the most important ones is the chamois butter. So I'm being sent the Ultra chamois butter, which I've been using in all of my training, and it's dead good. So I'm hoping with that my bum's going to be okay. And they're our official sponsors. And then obviously my channel sponsors, Garmin, Tailfin, Celitalia. I'll be using all of them as well. So just so grateful for everyone that supports this, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I don't ever want to come across like an advert or like I'm advertising loads of stuff. I generally use this stuff anyway. So when a brand contacts and says, do you want to be involved? Obviously I'm going to say yes. So yeah, thank you. Massive, massive thank you to them. And that's it really.
Yeah, countdown begins.
The countdown begins.
I just can't wait to get there, to be honest.
And Kyle's sponsored by Greg's. No, he's not really. Kyle's going to come back sponsored by the French bakeries.
I think everyone just thinks I love food.
You do, so do I, and I'll happily admit it.
I don't think I'm as big as what people think, but I do love my croissants.
Yeah, I think we should have a croissant tally while we're out there.
Yeah.
I think we should have a tally of how many croissants you eat.
One thing I will say is that I do like French food.
Yeah, you do.
But I will be looking forward to coming home after it.
What for, Greg's?
English food.
For sausage rolls?
Yeah.
Are you going to take a load of
steak
sausage rolls? No, you can't really take sausage rolls with you. They go
I'll take some frozen steak bakes.
Oh, no. They'll get defrost in the car.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for your questions. And we'll have another 2 episodes before we go. So we'll see you next time. Actually, you'll hear us next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.